All right, welcome to Break at the Apex. This is the Austin edition. And well, let's get started straight into it. I think before we go into anything really, if I can just ask you guys to please follow, subscribe, do all the fun things, comment, engage, just it will help us a lot. We're here to have some fun and we're here to share some thoughts and opinions and some banter. Why not? We had our first banter today, guys, on one of our YouTube videos. I'll tell you about that another time. But it was some good fun. But yeah, let's get straight into it. First of all, we've got some new segments. So basically, I'm gonna just kick us off with the first segment is just a 60-second race review, which is something that is done by Lawrence Beretta, who is one of the journalists. And basically just giving a rundown of the entire race in 60 seconds. I'll do the timing. I'll start. I might as well start. And then you guys can just sort of get an idea of what it is. So I'm going to kick it off and let's go. Right. And the clock starts now. Great. No, there we go. Okay, there we go. Great. Okay, cool. So it started off quite calmly. And I mean, well, besides Russell, everybody else was calm except for Russell. He thought it would be funny to play a bullet train and decided to just take signs out for no apparent reason. I don't know if they had like a beef before the race. Anyways, I've only got 60 seconds. Let's move on. From there, it was quite a boring race. I fell asleep and then I woke up, but I woke up when everything kicked off. Stroll decided he was going to just, I don't know, I don't even know what to say. There's nothing I can say. Vettel had a bad stop and Max had a bad stop, and everything just seemed to kick off. Max, on the other hand, decided beast mode after he had a bad stop and just straight through again. Vettel, on the other hand, struggled a bit, but still a great race for him. But all in all, it was a difficult race, but then it became a pretty good race eventually, and that's my time up. That wasn't so bad. I don't think that was too bad. I think that was quite okay. So who wants to go? Who wants to go next?
So not him. More technicals. Can you hear him?
No, BT, I can't hear you.
Oh joy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Should I go?
Yeah,
Yeah,
go.
go.
60 seconds, pal.
Okay, cool. 60 seconds. Number one, Leclerc looked good. Ferrari and brilliant strategy for him. For a change, everything went smoothly. Leclerc was actually a bit racy on that race. Actually took on Verstappen. So he's getting there. Trying to bump himself up for the next season. He looked good. He looked really quick. I like that. Latifi, second point. Latifi was doing Latifi things, spinning around. I don't know what he's doing. Hopefully we don't see him next year. God forbid.
No, he's IndyCar's problem now.
Third, my third feeling about the race. Mercedes are looking good. Hamilton looked quick. Shows that they've been working on that car. Maybe they're gonna have a good car next year. Fourth point. Vettel looked good in that race. Seems like he enjoyed himself. I guess Vettel always does good in that race. Like
3, 2, 1, bye. Sorry.
Oh.
That's difficult, eh? It's not easy.
yeah.
It's not easy.
No,
It's not easy. Okay, Egan,
All right.
are you gonna give it this go? Okay. Okay. You ready? Your time starts now.
Yeah, go. Okay, to start off with, Russell decided to kamikaze Carlos into turn one. Then the race sort of fell asleep for a little while until obviously a couple of safety cars came out because Bottas decided to go for a trip into the gravel. Must have been talking to Sainz a little bit too much over the last couple of weeks. And then Lance Stroll decided to send Alonso to a short flight back to friggin' Spain, it seems.
Was
We
like
had
you?
a couple of safety cars. Then Lewis decided to whine on the radio while also extending track limits himself as Max passed him and won again. So yeah, I don't think I'm missing anything too important aside from Russell hitting somebody for what is this, like fifth race now. Where's your
Oh well, you've done the best, mate, because you've still had 10 seconds to spare here. So well played to you, because me and BT did struggle a bit, but I think we'll keep that in, and we'll do that again next week or next race. I think that one was quite fun.
I think we need to practice a little bit.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah,
But
Although I think it's
the,
funnier if you just don't know and you just get thrown into it. It's kind of
to
funny.
be fair, Lawrence Barreto has been doing this for years, mate. This is our first time doing this, so
Yeah.
fair play to him.
Still,
yeah.
So yeah, look, I think let's just going back
yeah.
into
Let's talk about this race for
yeah,
a couple minutes here. Like, oh my God, what
yeah,
was this? I mean,
yeah. So
obviously, Sainz getting taken out after scoring a lovely pole position yesterday, which was quite masterclass in my opinion. And only for Russell to decide, hey, guess what? I forgot how to drive. Bang. And he got the well-deserved penalty, in my opinion, because there was obviously nowhere Sainz could have gone. I mean, Hamilton was on the other side of him. There was absolutely nowhere for him to go. If we're going
yeah,
to keep talking about incidents, like I mentioned, Bottas just randomly losing the back end and, well, like I said, going for a trip into the gravel. And then, yeah, Lance weaving on the straight. Well, it looked a little bit like weaving, maybe a bit of a late move, and decided to put Alonso right back on the plane to Spain. So, what was going on this race?
yeah.
Oh,
If I'm
wait,
honest,
I forgot one. Well, no, actually, two incidents by Latifi, by the way. Because the first one was where he just randomly decided to try what Max did in Hungary and spin to warm his tires. And then the second time was
Bruh.
he decided, hey, Mick's not allowed on the track anymore, and pushed him completely wide.
yeah.
What, like I said,
Latifi
safety
when
problem now.
Latifi just went straight back to having a nightmare. Honestly,
Yeah,
he just really needs to pack up now and go.
yeah. I mean,
I think for
he's Chip
me,
Ganassi's problem now.
yeah, I think for me, one of the two talking points that I think would be good to cover, unrelated to the actual racing, or it is related to the racing, but everyone's going to talk about the bigger things. But I'm just thinking, like, FIA, we have to talk about this, guys. This is getting every single race it's something, right? It's just uh, the debris that came off Alonso's car. I mean,
Yeah.
first of all, why aren't they calling him in for that? Why aren't they telling him, listen, you need to get that strapped? That thing is flapping around like like
No, but I
like
mean,
Yeah.
but hold on here. And then, like, look, as much as I am a fan of Red Bull and want them to be allowed to race and score points, I don't think Perez should have gotten that high, or at least he should have had to fight a little bit more for it. Because that the same thing he had with his end plate. Magnussen has been flagged down and forced into the pits twice this season for the exact same thing. But when it happens to Perez and Russell this weekend, nothing happens. Because Russell's end
exactly,
Yeah.
plate was also flapping about in the wind at one point, and it's like, well, why does
exactly,
Magnussen get flagged for two races? I think they were both in a row almost, and
yeah,
he gets flagged into the pits, but Perez and Russell don't.
I agree. BT, your thoughts?
I mean, guys, look, for me, I kept on watching the basketball and the race. So I was alternating between those. Um, but I was mostly focused on the clerk, to be honest with you. I was more focused on the performance as a team
Okay.
and
Well, it's not like you could focus on
I was
science.
very clerk. Look, dude, they want everything. So I was mainly solely focused on my team, to be honest with you. How we looked, how the changes they were made in terms of
Yeah,
strategies and all that stuff. We know there was a lot of jokes about the Ferrari with their strategies and how they were doing those during the season. And funny enough, after Red Bull has won the
yeah,
championship, all of a sudden we're doing strategies in the right way, and we are
They
quick
got lucky.
doing
Let's be
everything
honest here.
swift.
They got lucky.
mm. I think I
Leclerc
think
being able
Yeah,
to
I
but
think
slide
I
the
into Bottas's safety car window, that was lucky.
yeah, that's what
yeah,
I mean. Ethan, is that wait, guys? That's what I mean is that they saw that gap, that loophole, and they took it. You understand? That's a huge.
Well, I mean, in a
and they've
weekend
done it in the
where
right
a
way.
bunch of
I
teams are
mean, during the season,
screwing
they
up
were
pit
trying to
stops. Oh my
Sorry,
goodness.
Pete.
uh, uh, was Ferrari didn't
Oh, he's
screw up
back.
stop yesterday, which is it was a good thing. And to be honest with you, so I was quite impressed with that guy. I'm not gonna lie about
Yeah,
that.
I mean, like, just to touch on the Ferrari and their race pace and their race car, like, I will admit that they did do better this weekend, but whatever they've done to that car over the course of the season, development wise, has just not worked. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
Leclerc was following Verstappen, and then Verstappen got past him, and like I said, he was following him, and at one point, I don't know if Max just put his foot down and drove away from him, or if Leclerc's tires just fell off, but he just started driving away.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I was
Can we?
expecting
I just want to go back to.
Leclerc to, be pulled along by Max up to Hamilton, but that just
Yeah.
didn't happen.
I just want to go back to that FIA thing though. I think it's becoming so imminent. You know what's the frustrating part? And I posted this the other day, and to be honest, I got a lot of people liking it, and it's 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 quite it's difficult for Red Bull and Max at the moment because they're getting so much hate already. They've already been labeled cheaters and all this kind of stuff, right? My thing is that the FIA, the stewards, all of the people involved aren't making it easier on them because it's almost like they are blatantly giving them the upper hand by, I mean, even Max went over the line when Zhou Guan Yu did the exact same thing. Zhou got deleted,
Oh,
Max didn't get deleted.
hold on. I have to correct you here. Sky Sports and a lot of the broadcasting showed the wrong lap of shows that was deleted. That when he went over the line there, that wasn't the lap that got deleted. It was a whole separate lap.
Is it? Okay,
Yeah, the
that's
lap that they showed
fair
on
enough.
Sky Sports wasn't the
Fair
lap
enough.
that got deleted.
That's fair. I personally I didn't see it. As I said, I fell asleep after the race. It's the first time that look. I genuinely watch all the after the race stuff as well, but I just couldn't. It was a very late race, and it's probably bad. Maybe we should. But it still doesn't take away the fact that it's still
Couple of
happening.
Red
It it,
Bulls.
it it's still happening where where Red Bull are getting favored in a lot of situations, and it's not making it easier because it's not Red Bull's fault or Max's fault when they're getting favored. But the world doesn't see that. The world just sees it as Red Bull is getting favored. And then it creates more hate and more hate. And it's getting a bit frustrating because these guys just don't know how to run a show. I mean, they're supposed to be like the top minds in the game to be able to coordinate the pinnacle of the sport, the pinnacle of motor racing. And it's really frustrating when they do things like end plates that are loose or mirrors that are loose, and you don't even call the cars in. Those are safety precautions. Those are very dangerous machines that they are busy with. I mean, that mirror could have
Yeah.
gone through a halo and smashed somebody in the face,
No,
straight
no,
through the
no. It
Yeah.
could
helmet. When
have. It could have hit a suspension and hit and damaged suspension. It could have gone under the car and caused
could have done many
issues.
things.
Yeah.
But
No,
And
I
my
mean,
question,
yeah,
all they had to do was just force him into the pits. They didn't even have to tape it back on. They could have just ripped it off
ripped it off.
and be done with it. Yeah. And just
Yeah,
don't let it fall off on the straight.
yeah, exactly. And then the other thing for me as well, and and
but my
and this
question is,
this is yeah.
yeah, no, I just want to ask. You seem like you're on top of that and saying that they letting Red Bull just get away with a lot of things, like what you just said.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe if Leclerc was winning the championship, or Russell was winning the championship, do you think they would do the same thing to Mercedes or to Ferrari?
I think they
Honestly,
would
I don't even know
only
what's going
because
on here because you say there's Red Bull favoritism going on, but with the whole end plate, like I said earlier,
Yeah, that's a
Russell had the same fucking
theory.
thing and they didn't call him in. Like
yeah, okay.
it wasn't just Red Bull this race, it was Mercedes and Red Bull had the exact same, and Alonso with Alpine, they all had parts flapping in the wind and the FIA don't call them in. But the Haas has an end plate flapping off and they call him in. Like,
I'm I'm
what's
not
going
just
on here?
referring I'm not just referring to this race though. I'm referring to a lot of different things that have
Yeah,
been happening now. Um To answer your question bluntly, BT, I think you're onto something in that way. I think it's been proven in the past that Lewis Hamilton has gotten lucky in many ways. If when it comes to calls that have gone for him in certain situations, I do believe that yeah, you're right. Maybe things would be going Leclerc's way if he were winning and so on and so on. But does that make it right though? It doesn't make it right. Either way, it doesn't
No.
matter who's winning. In any case, why favor the winners? Because that's not helping anybody. You know, you should favor the guys behind the winners to catch up to the winners
No, the
to make
sport
it
should be
a
no.
bit.
This organization of the sport should be impartial.
No, no,
Nobody
no,
should be favored.
no. Fair enough. That's a given. It should be equal. But if they're going to do favors, at least make the show. You know what I mean? At least make it a show.
Not at the end of the day.
But
Look, this isn't a
but
show.
yes,
This is a sport.
but
This
yes,
is not a.
there shouldn't be favoritism in general.
This is not a Hollywood blockbuster. This is a sport with
Yeah,
millions on the line. Like, there shouldn't be any favoritism. And even if it's not necessarily favoritism, even if I honestly, in my view, a lot of it is just sheer incompetence on the end of the FIA. I mean, they've
yeah,
proven week in and week out, especially recently, like, even if it's got nothing to do with the teams themselves, like putting a tractor on the fucking track at Suzuka, or, stopping a race, and
mate. It's a crane.
okay. That's really what you're gonna pick on right now? That's what you're gonna take out of that whole thing.
Okay, I get what you're
Me
saying. I get what you're saying.
misidentifying heavy equipment.
I get what you're saying, but I guess point made. The point has been
It's
made. I think
just
FIA have got
sheer incompetence.
a lot of things that FIA need to really get right,
I mean, it's
especially
been
going
happening back
into future.
since Monaco. The reason why we didn't get a standing start at Monaco is because there was a power outage to the track and to the starting lights, so they had to do a rolling start. But did the FIA tell TV direction that? No. Did they tell the
No.
teams that? No. They didn't even inform the teams that. Like,
Yeah,
they didn't even tell the teams why they were doing a rolling start. They just said, "All bluff, here's your rolling start." Like, that's not race direction. That's making up
yeah,
what you want to do and just carrying on. It's complete
Last point, Grant, before we move.
unprofessionalism.
Last point.
yeah,
Guys, don't forget that the sport has moved a bit. It's attracting a different demographic at the same time. Remember when the new owners took over, the guys were American guys, so they're trying to bring entertainment to the sport as well. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. I mean, we
yeah.
have these races in the
Obviously,
US now. They're trying to reach that market as well. So they're trying to make it as entertaining.
yeah, but
If you watch race now and the Formula One race in about 2012, you will see it's totally different now. Those are two totally different races. So let's
yeah,
not forget about that. That these people also are money driven. They want to make a profit out of the sport. So they will like put in a bit of entertainment towards it. I'm not saying that favoritism and what's happening in Red Bull is sorry, but they also trying to do like a storyline
yeah.
type of guys get what I'm saying.
That's
But
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Doesn't
understand
make
what
it
you
right
mean,
though.
but it's
there
not
were a
right.
lot
It
of
doesn't make it right.
yeah, no, for sure. But guys, you
Like,
must
what's
understand as
right
well. They're
is
trying to
over
make money
here,
now.
and what you're
And
describing is all the way over
end of the
here.
day,
Like,
yes. But end of the day, they're trying to make F1 a cash cow. They're trying to make it entertaining. I
Yeah,
once mentioned this to Graham a week ago that don't forget that there's people who actually follow the sport and actually read up on the sport, download the apps and read all the training news. When you get people that just watch the race on Sundays,
or
the
watch Drive to
celebrities that
Survive.
go to these races, they just watch the races. They're not really into the sport, so they need
yeah,
to create a certain payment, a certain way of just making things glamorous and
yeah,
just boost up entertainment. Although it's so yeah,
yeah.
that's all I had to say. Let's just not
Okay,
forget about
cool.
that.
I guess that's enough on FIA. I think we're all in agreement that things need to change there. I definitely think, no, man, I
Some
definitely think
people
that. things need to be worked on. It's not good. It's not
Bring back
it's
Michael
almost
Messi.
it's all it's almost like they're looking for a new demographic, but they are sort of dropping the original sort of viewership, the original guys that actually are actually into F1. Because it's those
Bring
guys that
back
are
the
getting,
massive. Bring back
yeah,
Messi. Bring back
bring back
massive.
Messi, 100%. Anyways, guys,
Yeah, but
I think let's go. I would like
don't
to.
forget the buying key louder. Don't forget about that.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. I want to quickly go into a little versus series. All right. So this is just something that I want to do every week where we're going to pick out one or two battles that happened. This week, I want to pick out the Alonso and Stroll battle, and I want to pick out the Vettel and Magnussen battle. Now,
Why?
I wanted, I
Why?
want,
Because Stroll decided to send Alonso home early.
yeah, we'll get to that. I wanted to pick the Max versus Lewis versus Charles. But I think I'm gonna.
No. It was Max versus Lewis. Let's be realistic here. Charles was like
Well,
5, 6
we'll,
seconds back. That's not.
well, we'll,
Charles was not
well.
involved with that.
Uh, there's a
Okay, I
lot of
believe
things
at the
that happen.
start of the battle he was 3.5 seconds behind them, but still, that's not involving Charles at all.
There was a lot of things that happened during the race that I think could have happened differently. That did affect Charles in a little way. I think Charles was on point. Ferrari have been on points. By the way, can I just say, for two races, Bonotto hasn't been there, and for two races, Ferrari have not really made any mistakes. Just saying, but we're gonna brush over that. Okay.
What was
Um.
that point I made a couple of weeks ago about firing
Uh,
Matteo Binotto?
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay, but the reason why I don't really want to talk about Max and Lewis and Charles now is because I feel like that's going to be a segment on its own. And
Yeah.
obviously time wise, let's just go through the rest. I think I might do a video on that during the week. So if any of you watching care about that kind of stuff, just click sub there. What's the word? Subscribe. Can somebody tell me, please?
Subscribe. There we go.
Click subscribe, and just, whenever we post something, it will come up. So if any of you are interested, I might post something in the week about that. I think it was quite an interesting battle. I was quite happy to see Lewis up front again. It was quite nostalgic seeing Max and Lewis at it. It was really nice. And if I'm really honest, I think I might be the only Red Bull fan that actually wants this, but I actually want Lewis to win that one race this year. I feel like somebody needs to have that record, and he's the only one, literally, that can actually get that record. So
I think he needs to be knocked down a peg. Like if he comes
no,
back
but
next year and starts winning, I'm all good. I'm all good. I'm all for it. But I don't think that car deserves a win this season. They
that's
dropped the
fair,
ball
and
so hard.
that's
It doesn't
fair. And
deserve a win.
somebody actually commented that on my comment on TikTok about it as well. So that is fair, and I do agree. For him to get the win, they need to deserve it, and that's fine. I don't know, from a fan of F1, I think it's such a cool thing to know that somebody in the world has gone through every season winning a
Also,
race.
I don't think that, just like if you just excuse driver skill for a second there, like this is the same guy who spent like the whole time he was chasing Max, he was complaining like literally the whole time Max went off there, Max went off there, Max went off there.
Nah,
And then
mate,
when he
he
finally
wasn't.
comes out,
Let's
wait,
get
wait,
this right.
when he finally comes out, Max is on his last warning for track limits. Literally half a lap later, Lewis also on final warning for track limits. It's like, how can you
Half
sit
hour left.
there and bitch and moan to try and get him a penalty when you're doing the exact same thing? The
But this is
same thing.
this is gonna come to
Come
my point
on.
now. This is gonna come to my point now. He was not complaining.
He
He was
was.
auditioning. He wasn't. He was auditioning.
For
Okay.
what?
He wants Crofty's job when he retires, and he thought this was his time to let everybody know
uh,
how Max was driving. Okay. So to me, he was auditioning. And I think personally, I think he did a great job. I think as a commentator, he did a fantastic job. I think everybody
I
was well
mean,
informed. We were all
nah.
well informed. We all knew exactly what Max was doing at every corner. And I mean, I can't fault
Nah,
Lewis for that
honestly,
beautiful
the
piece of
hold
commentating.
on, hold on. The amount that Crofty already rides Hamilton and thinks he's Jesus in a car. I guarantee you, when Crofty retires, he's gonna come to Hamilton with the microphone like a knight and be like, "Please, sir, have the microphone."
That is true. That is true.
Honestly,
That is
I
true.
mean, even
Anyways,
it was like Crofty. It's been at a point multiple this times this season where like Hamilton's in front of Max and he's like, "Oh, Hamilton can win," and then Max takes like more than a second a lap out of Lewis's lap times, and it's like, no, he can still win, I swear. As Max goes,
yeah,
"Yeah."
that is true. Anyways,
Cough,
I just
man,
want to
or
quickly
cough,
touch
cough.
on. Let's just quickly touch on Vettel and Magnussen.
Oh, I love
Just
that
2
battle
minutes.
right to the line. Oh,
How
Yeah.
was those overtakes from Vettel?
whew,
Whew.
Even Button was saying it's some of the best overtaking he's ever seen.
jeez. I honestly,
That
I did
was,
not
Yeah,
expect him to catch Magnussen. Like when he went past Sonoda, I think it was,
yeah,
and he had 4.5 seconds with like 3 laps left to get to Magnussen, and he still. I was like, no, that's it. It's done
yeah.
now. He's gonna finish
No,
ninth. That's done. And then
I just thought, yeah,
all of a sudden, Max and the rest of them cross the line, and the camera pans back, and those two are still fighting back and forth. And I'm like, how the? I even said it. I was like, how the fuck did he catch him? What happened?
yeah. BT, you were saying?
yeah, no, yeah, no. I mean, he's just reminding us who he is, dude. It's last season.
I
I
Letting
think
know.
people know, look,
I
what
was
was
you
gonna
it?
know,
say
he's
that.
retiring. He's retiring with a bang, and I like that. I like that.
I was gonna say that.
Not
I was just gonna
sponsored, by the
say
way.
that I was I was gonna say that too. I was just gonna say that, he's really taking this retirement like seriously now, because it's like he's literally got a second breath and he's like, guys, okay, cool. I'm almost done here. I
Yeah,
need to just have a solid few results. And if it weren't for Aston Martin stepping up his pit stop, he could have reached that podium, man. If you think about it, I'm not saying he would
yeah,
have. I'm not saying he would have,
No.
but he would have come out in front of Perez. He would have only had Leclerc to go
yeah.
for.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Um, so I'm
It
not
was quick,
saying they
man.
would
It
have
was
had. I'm
surprisingly
not
quick
saying he would have had the
finish on
car.
it.
Eh?
No.
I'm saying that they were surprisingly quick. Like Aston Martin was quick in that
Yeah,
race. It kind of
yeah.
shocked me,
Even
to be
even
honest with
Stroll was doing quite
Yeah,
well
but
up until.
I
you. Yeah,
don't think he would have had the pace to keep a Red Bull behind him or to get in front of a Ferrari.
Mate, there's a difference between a Red Bull and a Checo and a Red Bull. But in any case, let's just move on from that. I think no,
I will not
Checo's
stand for
done.
the
No, Checo's
Sergio
done, man.
slander. Oh my, I will not
No,
stand for this.
I'm just
no, no,
joking.
no.
Checo's
Look,
done well.
you know why? You
I'm
know why?
I'm happy with him. But
Why you say
even
that? Because
Stroll, look, huh?
once Ricardo goes, you're saying all these stuff because once Ricardo goes to that team, stop it,
No, no, no.
stop
But
it,
leave Ricardo for another day.
stop
We'll talk about that another
it.
time. Okay. But the thing is,
P16. P16.
yeah, man. But did you see his interview afterwards? Eh? He was, yeah, man. That guy was so distraught. Eh? He was like, did you see it? He even said like he's just like painful as an understatement. He's like he just when you think it's
If your teammate's finishing P6 and you are finishing literally fucking 10 positions behind him, yeah, you should be distraught. You're doing a
yeah,
terrible
but
job.
yeah, but you could see that he was like he doesn't know what to do anymore. Like he sat there and he was just like just when you think it couldn't get worse, it literally got worse. He said
Yeah,
he couldn't get that car. He couldn't. And I don't know if you saw there was a little thing of a snippet or a clip that went out of him on his pedals. And you should have seen how his foot was shaking after, like if he lifted off the
bro,
brake, it shakes.
Jensen Button was laughing his ass off in the
Yeah,
commentary
but
box.
that's a concern. Why? That will affect the driver. But in any case,
I mean, his
let's
foot was
just
like this, like
yeah, that's true. But in any case, let's Ricardo's a chat for another day because I am a super fan, and I'm sad that he's leaving, but
must
at
be
the same
painful, hey?
time, yeah, it's tough, but at the end of the day, I still believe in him. I don't believe somebody can just lose their ability just
You
like
believe
that. It's not.
you
It's
believe he'll go for P14 instead of 16?
no, no, no. Like on a serious note, like no, like on a serious note, man. I don't think any driver can just lose their ability. You know, this guy went from Red Bull to Renault. In a year, he did extremely well in that Renault. He pushed that car forward, went to McLaren. He's only been in one other car, and that's the only car that he just cannot seem to get right with.
I mean, he's been
So
in
it's not,
what, Toro Rosso, Red Bull, Renault, and McLaren now.
yeah, but I'm saying he's been in McLaren's the only car he's been in since he's been driving well, you know? So it's kind of like you have to believe that a part of that has to be something to do with the car. Surely a driver doesn't just
Yeah,
lose
but you say that,
talent
but
just like that.
Lando's P6 in
Yeah,
well, it
but
was P6 in America in the same car.
okay, okay, but just think about it like this. That car was built for Lando. Lando was there at pre-testing. He was present. Ricardo wasn't present. He had his
And whose
COVID and
fault
all
is
of.
that?
No, but I'm just saying that you have to think that a part of this has got to do with the car. Surely a driver doesn't just lose his talent instantly. It was very instant. It wasn't a gradual downfall in form.
No, but
It was
okay,
a
but
bam.
I mean, like you said, we could talk about this all the live long day. But at the end of the day, McLaren or the two McLaren cars, one of them is sitting at P7 in the driver's standing with 109 points, and the other one is sitting at P12 with 29 points.
Yeah.
So, like, even if the car was built more leaning towards Lando, like, you would think that Ricardo would be able to score more than 29 points over a whole season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
I don't think you can
I
just
think
blame
people.
the car and say that Ricardo's fine. There's obviously something wrong there,
Yeah, his
and not
confidence is
just
in
with
its
the
shot.
McLaren.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I think people are missing a lot here. This
I mean,
sport
if
is
you look
about
at
having confidence as well. This sport is about having momentum. It's about feeding off of your good experiences. He hasn't had any good experiences to feed off since he's been in that car, except for last year. And you know,
I
this
was
year
gonna say
coming in, he
last year he
just
was only a couple points off Lando, so like he was behind Lando, but it was 160 to 115. So
yeah.
how do you go from
I don't know.
160 to 115 as a gap
Another
to
Yeah,
uh,
109 to 29?
I don't know.
but
I don't
another
know.
question, Graham, another question you should ask yourself is that is Ricardo really good at giving feedback to the team in terms of the car?
It's also a good point.
Well, according to Christian Horner, yes,
And what's
because
happening
Christian
at
was
McLaren?
well.
That's a
But
huge
that's
that is
one
a
of
huge
the
gap.
that's one of the things that I've also asked. Are McLaren helping him? Because according to Christian, Daniel's one of the best guys when it comes to giving you good feedback. Because he brought that up at the start of the year, where he was saying that Daniel is such a good person to have in the car because he's going to help you push that car forward. He's going to help you build that car. He did it with Renault. He helped Renault build that car. That car wasn't that good when he got into it. Anyways, I think at the end of the day, it is difficult as a super fan because you kind of like you want to be realistic, but you also at heart slightly biased. At the same time, you want to try and think positively about it. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna keep thinking positively about it and let's just see where he ends up. But at the end of the day, only he can prove us wrong or right. At the end of the day, it's all about can he get back into the sport, and if he does, will he prove us wrong or will he prove us right? So I guess we just have to wait for that. We kind of missed the point here, in that, we.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
So
what I mean is like we missed the point in that we weren't actually supposed to cover that. I wanted to cover Alonso and Stroll, um, where, if
I
I'm
don't think
really
there's
honest with
much to
you,
cover there, honestly. I still, in my view, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think. I mean, it was a bit of a late move by Stroll, but he got no penalties. I
Yeah.
mean, so obviously the FIA agrees in my assessment of it that it was a bit of a racing incident.
Yeah.
And considering the
You
fact that
score
Stroll got
well,
no penalty, I
glad
don't
you.
think I'm necessarily wrong there.
Yeah, I'm quite glad you said that because that just means we don't really have to have a long chat about it because I
No,
don't
I
know.
mean,
I've been
I
seeing a
but
don't
you
mean
lot.
to
score
I don't mean to take
No,
the wind out of your sail or anything, but I don't think there's much to talk about there.
but no, but that's great. No, that's great because I believe the same, and I've seen so many. I've seen so many comments and stuff going on, and I'm just like, but it really wasn't that bad. I mean, Max has
I
done way worse.
actually
Let's be
though
honest.
I actually do have a bit of a bone to pick though when it comes to in regards to Alonso, is the fact that he had that whole incident, managed to drive all the way back up to P7, and then Haas
Yeah.
protested the wing mirror, and they dropped him all the way to 15th.
Yeah.
Like I would understand
Yeah.
maybe dropping him behind K-Mag or something, but like dropping him all the way out of the points to 15th? Why?
Mm.
I don't understand.
Yeah, it is tough. It is tough. It is tough. I think he got hard done by as well this weekend. I think he drove phenomenally. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Alonso and Vettel both, for their age, are just doing some crazy, crazy things. I mean, Vettel's
So
not even that
Yeah.
old, but Alonso is pretty.
according to the race results on the F1 website, it says here Alonso received a 10-second stop and go penalty, converted to a 30-second time penalty for a technical
Hmm.
infringement.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
wasn't aware that losing a wing mirror because of an earlier crash was a 30-second penalty offense.
Yeah, 30 seconds is a bit rough, man. I don't get that.
If they
Yeah, dude.
like, and the fact of the matter is, it was a 10. If it was a 10-second, why was it a 10-second stop go? Just give him a 10-second actual penalty. I mean, it
Yeah.
may still have dropped him out of the points, but I still think a 30-second time penalty is way overboard.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on. Let's get into fun predictions. We don't have a lot of time. Unfortunately, we live in South Africa and we have a thing called load shedding. So if people are not South African and they don't understand, our friend BT over here, his electricity is scheduled to go off courtesy to Cyril Ramaphosa at 10, which is in a few minutes' time. So before that happens, if we can quickly just give our predictions. So the one thing is we said two fun predictions. It can be anything, and then the race winner. So I'll start off. I'm gonna make some two predictions. Fun predictions would be one. Red Bull are gonna dress up as is it the Day of the Dead, the skeleton faces with
Yeah,
the
Day of the Dead.
hats. I'm going to go with that prediction. It's a cop out in a way because I think they do it every year, but it's
Yeah,
my
they do.
prediction, so leave me alone. The the other prediction I'm gonna say is that Vettel's gonna get a top five. I know, it sounds a bit stupid,
Yeah, no,
but
I mean, not necessarily, considering that
but
Aston
it's
Martin's improved and it's quite
yeah,
slippery in a straight line.
Yeah.
but it's my prediction, so he's gonna get a top five, and then race winner. I mean, do I really need to?
Jacko, Jacko, Jacko.
No. It's I definitely think Max will win it. I think Checo will have a chance, but I think Max has already said if he's in the lead, he's not going to just slow down for Checo to pass him. That doesn't make sense. And we all know Max is most likely going to be in the lead. So Max for the win. So that's my
I'm gonna say,
prediction.
okay. My prediction: Checo will win, and I don't care. You can't tell me otherwise. I want
Okay,
him
no,
to win his home Grand
Uh,
Prix.
that's fair. We can make
that's
it. We
turning
can
I
make
both.
it
want
a
that
That's
for him.
major.
He's
that's
already
turning
had
Who's
a
winning
both
couple
for you,
sides.
BT?
podiums there.
Who's winning for you,
Like
BT?
Egan is out
Let
here
me
making
guess. Carlos
emotional.
Sainz. Oh, sorry.
No, no, wait. So our prediction is that well,
George
actually
Russell.
Ferrari for Halloween, please dress up as the mafia. That was actually cool. Um, Race winner, I say fine. Was quick this past weekend. Didn't go in the car. Unfortunately, got into an accident with Russell. Um,
Accident.
and I do say Alonso top five for me.
Okay.
Checo,
Egan,
Checo will be in the top three.
okay, so Egan, you've got two fun predictions. You've got a Checo for a race winner, and your two fun predictions.
Oh yeah, I'd actually also go for the because of Mexico and its insane straight. I think that Alonso might get a top five.
Okay,
Just because that
Mm-hmm.
Alpine is a bloody rocket ship
it's a
in a
great
straight line.
shot. Great
Yeah.
shot.
Dude,
And then another one.
dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Checo for what did I say? Checo for the race win. Yeah, and Alonso in the top five would probably be my
Wow.
two predictions.
Wow. You and your emotional predictions, bro. That's emotional. Not an emotional prediction, honestly.
It's fine. We can caress him later when he's
You think
crying.
Max? You think Max? You think Max will really let Checo win? But anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
All
I
right,
mean,
guys.
considering the fact that the Mercedes might start up front, there is also a possibility that George might just hit for Max because I guess that's one of the
Oh
drivers he
wow.
hasn't collected in his game of bumper cars.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Checo,
That's fair. I'm
you know,
I'm
when
pleased for
Bottas was with Mercedes, his favorite sport was bowling. Checo or Russell likes bumper cars. You know, everyone's got their own thing, right? Fucking honestly.
and for
Everyone's got their thing. Everyone's got their thing. I feel like Ricardo is
I think Ferrari should
racing.
please.
Ricardo's racing go-karts on a F1 track.
I should have actually have a segment when I said my last word for Ferrari. I think I should have a segment like that. You guys think
What
that'll be cool?
what a segment for
My
what?
for Ferrari, my message to Ferrari for the week, like a motivation message,
Do better.
Fair enough.
you know.
You should.
Um,
You should.
and
But the show is not about you and
one
Ferrari.
of the
It's
one of
about
the
all of us
I
and
don't get
F1.
I don't get. Please stop picking up the car for qualifying to top. When it comes to racing, it just our place goes away. Like what's happening? I don't understand that. I don't know if you guys noticed that. The car in qualifying looks awesome. It's quick. It's
It's been
taking
like that half the
position.
season, mate.
Yeah,
Like
but
what
also
happened,
Leclerc has
dude?
almost the same
yeah,
amount of poles as Michael Schumacher's
Max's
record,
wins.
Wow.
And Max's wins. Of course, dude, it's been like that the whole season. Right? I don't know how are you only picking this up now, mate? There's too much load shedding going on because you're not seeing these things. It's a bit dark on your end.
Or every time
uh,
Ferrari makes a mistake, he goes like this.
I do.
Guys, listen,
I do.
listen. Before BT's
Yeah,
lights go out, let's end it there.
let's sign off.
Please, guys, like and subscribe. It will really mean a lot to us. We'll bring you good quality. We'll bring you good
Yeah.
content as we go along.
No,
We are still new
but
to this, so just give us the time, please. But otherwise, cheers.
yeah, well,
And
like and subscribe and all that, but I still say bring back Michael Massey. Just saying.
if you're not a Red Bull
Wow.
fan, you're not gonna like that.
Bring back Michael Massey.
Lewis haters are gonna come for you. Sorry, Max haters are gonna come for you, bro. Cheers, guys. Bye.